Hi, I'm Esther with Fulton County Seventh-day Adventist Mission Group, and I just exposed my organization on BizLink's TV network. Learn more about how you can help us help groups and communities attack diabetes, cholesterol, obesity, and other diseases, one bite at a time. Coming up on my episode of Let's Talk Nonprofits at BizLink's TV.
Let's Talk Nonprofits is sponsored by Renee Foundation.
Hello, and welcome again to another episode of Let's Talk Nonprofits, an online platform where we discuss everything related to nonprofits with the purpose of increasing the nonprofits' awareness, funding, sustainability, and ultimately their impact. And today is no different. We are blessed to have Pastor Esther Green here with us from the Fulton County Mission Group, and we are excited to talk about their wonderfully unique feeding program. And I'm going to not get into it. I want her to share with you all the details and excitement about what's going on in the community here. So again, we welcome you, and we ask that you get your notes, because remember, there are always nuggets that's taking place to help you improve your nonprofit. And those of you who are experts in the field to help nonprofits, remember to reach out to us, and we'll tell you how later on in the episode. So welcome, Pastor Esther Green.
Thank you. Thank you for having me here.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. When we heard about all the things that you guys were doing, we just thought there was a different twist to it, and we were excited to have the opportunity to invite you on. And so, without further ado, first of all, tell us about the Fulton County Mission Group.
Well, the Fulton County Mission Group is a Seventh-day Adventist church.
Okay.
We operate out of Hateville, Georgia. We used to be in East Point.
Okay.
And what we do, other than the standard ministry, is we have this really powerful health ministry that we have unleashed upon the community with great results.
All right, now see, you know, I get excited when I hear organizations that are doing something different. You know, time goes on, and yes, there are some traditional things that happen with organizations, and not churches alone, but just organizations. But with the change of time, people different, and we've got to come up with different ways to meet them. So again, I'm excited. So without further ado, I want you to tell us about Healthy Choices Community Lunches. What is that all about?
Well, the name is as it says.
Yeah.
So we have community lunches that involve healthy. And when I say healthy, I mean healthy choices.
Okay.
We are intentional about helping people to become more familiar with healthy foods.
Okay.
Because we know health is wealth, and nutrition is very important to have health. So there are lunches that we do, and instead of feeding the homeless, we're feeding the community at large. Okay. And we're blessed because Hateville is a very multicultural and diverse community. It's a small little pocket, but it's a third of each of the major ethnicities.
Okay.
So it's a real community builder, but it's also a way of letting people taste and experiment risk-free with food that they don't normally eat, but then they also get information to help them to make healthy choices once they leave.
So how did this come about? I mean, why healthy choices for the community lunches?
This actually came about because as a church, you know, you always want to have an impact in the community.
Correct.
So we were thinking and we were doing things that we knew that we should do and that we'd seen other people do, but we weren't really having an impact. And I want us to be relevant to the community. And in prayer and seeking, I just said, I'm not comfortable with what we're doing, which was a lot of everything.
Okay.
And then one day sitting in the church, I said out loud, we need to play to our strengths. And that just came to me. The Lord just said, play to your strengths. I said it out loud, and everyone else picked it up. And they said, yeah, we need to play to our strengths. And it's great when everyone can come to agreement. And we decided, and we found that our strength was healthy eating, because you know what, after church, we always have a lunch.
Okay.
It's a great lunch. It's a healthy lunch.
Okay.
And many of us are either health educators or had been helped to restore our health.
Well,
So it was a no-brainer.
Yeah. And when you say play to your strength, one thing I'm familiar with is the health message of the Seventh-day Adventist Church, which is a very strong part of its message. So when you say play to the strength, I mean, that's a great strength component of the Adventist Church.
Yes, it is. And we have such a good time with the food. The food is always great. We have a good time around the table. And we just said, what if other people were able to benefit from this as well?
Yeah.
So that's why we wanted to do that. And my passion has always been service, to serve people and help them get measurable results. So bridging different things from my background, I said, okay, let's do this. And so we just built the ministry. Didn't have any experience doing all of these things together, but we did it, and everyone was willing, and the community loves it.
Well, I tell you, I'm always excited with churches who, I like to phrase it, they go beyond the walls, you know, because, you know, a lot of time churches, regardless of denomination, you know, we get caught up in just the inside, the people inside.
Right.
And, you know, occasionally we go out and do some ministry, evangelism, those type of things. But, you know, I like that concept. It's well, in fact, this may even answer part of what I'm thinking. But how often do the lunches occur?
Well, the lunches began once a month,
Okay.
and they're free, which means that it's an expense that we just place upon ourselves because it's a service of love.
Okay.
So they're once a month, and I fully intended on stopping at some point, but the feedback has been too positive. So now they're once a quarter.
Okay.
They're once a quarter. They're labor intensive, but it's just so great. When I looked even this last Saturday, we had one, and we had a record number for us. And looking at the kitchen staff, they were having so much fun.
Wow.
They enjoyed themselves. The people enjoyed themselves.
Wow.
My greeters enjoyed themselves.
Wow.
And they even encouraged me. They said, why is this the last one? So I can take a hint.
Yes.
So it's not our last one, but we're going to shift. And I said, you know what, one day someone's going to help me be able to figure out how to get funding to be able to do this, because the community feedback is too positive for us to even just do it once a quarter.
So let me ask you, so I'm hearing that, I'm hearing the frequency, and the frequency has been reduced just, again, due to the expense and all the things. So what is the goal of the Healthy Choices Community Lunches?
The goal of the Healthy Choices Community Lunches is actually threefold. We want to first educate. Educate people regarding the principles of health, educate people regarding wellness, the science of wellness, and nutrition. We want to also engage. I don't just educate, I engage the audience.
And how is that? How is that engagement look?
There are 3 courses to the meal.
Okay.
And in between the courses, that's when I do my blah blah.
Okay.
That's when the education takes place.
Okay.
But I don't just speak or show a video or some type of clip. I engage the audience and I'll ask, what did you hear? What do you think about this?
Okay.
Had you heard this before?
Okay.
Things of that nature.
Yes.
And then because we're doing this in between courses, I'll actually ask them, how did this taste? How would you do it differently? Would you do something like this? Do you see these items in your grocery store? And the third E is simply experimentation. The goal is to get people to experiment, because when people hear healthy eating, often they think, what's that, lettuce and tomato and sunflower seeds?
Right.
Yeah, no.
Right.
Or they'll have a diagnosis, you know, their doctor will tell them you have diabetes or this issue, and you need to change your diet. You need to eat healthier. And most people think, I am eating healthier. So with all of these things, our goal is to just help with those 3 areas.
Okay.
So that's what we do. And we want people to begin the dialogue of health and wellness and begin thinking of how they can incorporate changes. So it's just a first step.
Okay, very good. An introduction really to spark the thought about healthy lifestyle. So I've heard that there's a 3-course meal, right? And then I hear there's an engagement with you. Anything else the attendees, when they come, should come to expect?
they can also expect to see real life success stories.
Okay.
Because my staff, my congregation, some friends, each of us have had experience with profound lifestyle changes as a result of healthy choices.
Okay.
So at this last luncheon, they saw, I won't mention names, but I'll make up a name. They saw Ione,
Okay.
who used to be 400 pounds, and she is now 230,
Wow.
240.
Wow.
And I had to ask her, I said, wait a second, even though I'm talking about her and I don't want her to know I'm talking about her, I said, hold on you guys, let me see what her dress size used to be. And so I just ran to the kitchen, what did you used to weigh? Or what size were you? And so she said size 30. They heard her and they said, wow. But they were happy to see that success story.
Yeah.
And there was another person there, a cancer survivor. And while we were talking about juicing, someone had asked me about juicing. And I said, oh yes, juicing is very crucial and critical, especially when you're looking to reverse different issues,
Yeah.
especially with cancer. And I
Yeah.
said, yeah, there's someone in the back who is a cancer survivor. And I was able to give her story, and you know, she could wave.
Yeah.
And so people can expect not just to get the education and video clips and food and information, but they see real life stories to see that people can do it.
Very good.
And what I want them to leave with is not just a belly full, but a sense of hope.
Very good.
Hope for themselves and empowerment.
Well, I tell you guys, I'm sure you agree with me that this is a powerful ministry that's going on at the Fulton County Mission Group and with the Healthy Choices Community Lunches. Very unique name. I love it. Very powerful. I love the idea of the real live examples that are there. And again, nonprofit organizations, I've heard several nuggets that you could be writing down, but if nothing else, I'm gonna pull this one out. If you can definitely have any success stories to share with those who are seeking to engage with you, whether it's service clients or receivers or even donors, those things help toward that. So be sure to take note of that, pull that nugget out, and see how you can apply that to your organization and in terms of its growth. And I tell you, the other thing I want to pull out is be creative. I mean, they were doing a lot of things, but the way it sounds, as most of us do, whether it's business or any other type of organization, doing a lot of things, but really not seeing any net result. Okay, so not seeing any net result, and take note and assessment of your organization's functions. What is going on? Look at each one of them and determine, are you really seeing the success that your goals were intending to bring about? So we thank you for those great nuggets and tips. So again, and if you don't find that is the case, guys, just tear it up and rethink, brainstorm, because I tell you this, I can just imagine when you said, let's play to our strengths, and hearing the response in unison and alignment that just led to this opportunity. So again, we're going to take a commercial break, and we'll be right back with Pastor Esther Green as we continue to talk about Healthy Choices Community Lunches.
What happens when soldiers come home? Brene Foundation offers hero support to ensure that our heroes abroad can continue to be heroes at home. We link veterans with organizations who are dedicated to guiding the transition from military hero to civilian hero. If you want to find out how you can support our troops at home, please contact the Brene Foundation or visit brene.com.
Thank you, and welcome back. We really do appreciate our sponsors for making this opportunity possible to bring you great resources in the community to help your nonprofit organization achieve its goals. So again, thank you to our sponsors. Please support our sponsors, and because when you do, it helps us stay here and produce these quality programmings. So again, we would like to just jump back in with the Fulton County Mission Group and their community lunches. I'm so excited because it really is a unique thing. And yeah, I know people are feeding the homeless. I know people are out there doing that type thing. But this is a different approach, and it's not just for the homeless, but it's about the community at large being healthy. And I on behalf of the community, we thank you for what you're doing.
Thank you.
Well, we talked about a lot of things, about how it got started, what people can expect. Now, let me ask, because when like you alluded to earlier, when people start thinking about eating healthy, the first thing we think about lettuce and like your nuts. And so then we tend to think along of the idea of, well, do I have to give up meat, vegetarianism, and now I'm into vegetarianism, do I need to go to become a vegan? So, so are you promoting vegetarianism?
Yes.
Okay.
No.
I agree with that. All right.
Well, what we do, we don't use the V word.
Okay.
But science has
The V
shown,
words.
science has shown that health is best maintained, and even health issues are best reversed with a diet that is made of whole grains, fruits, vegetables, nuts, legumes.
Yeah.
So now if we want to categorize, we can say, well, that would be a vegan diet.
Okay.
But veganism is associated with many different things, and animal rights, and not wearing leather, and just it's its own movement. And people have a ready-made bias regarding those two words. So we don't use them. In my presentations, I just talk to them about first-class foods, healing foods, power proteins, healing proteins, things of that nature. And I also go the extra step of giving them a list of foods that are categorized as first class, second class, third class.
Wow.
So depending on where you are, if you're looking to maintain your health as it is, then you would choose differently. But now if you're looking to reverse an issue like hypertension or diabetes or things of that nature, then you need to stick, based on the research, you need to stick with first-class foods and very few of the second-class food items.
Wow. Okay.
And that just helps people see things differently. And I let them know, what you ate today, this was all first class.
Wow.
This was all second class. And that's their reaction. Oh?
Yeah.
Really? You can have a full meal of just these types of foods.
You know, this reminds me of when I was in college, and many years ago, and I remember, as a college student, you're trying to let your money stretch, and so you're eating at different places, and someone said something when we were going to this particular fast food place, and said, well, the meat that they put in there, it was a beef something, and I don't want to give away the name of the location or the restaurant, but it's a chain. And but they said, the meat they use in there is grade D or something, and they were like, and we were like, huh? And they went on to explain that there were various grades, and so when you talk about the first class foods and second class foods overall, not just meat, but the quality of food, it just makes you think. I tell you, it triggers something in your mind. We all want the best. We all want the best to put in our cars. We all want the best to put in our hair. We're always looking for the top, and affordable. So my thing is, I like the fact that you've identified, and I know that you didn't go out and identify, but you and your research and all have gotten together to present to the community the various class of foods. And so again, Pastor, I just want to say I applaud you. And so it cuts off the need for the community to go and figure things out. It's almost like reading the Cliff Notes. That's
exactly what they are.
Okay, good. So, I'm going to stop and ask you right now. How can people get involved? How can they attend the Healthy Choices community food lunches?
The best way to be able to get involved is contact us via email, and it's Fulton County Mission Group @gmail.com. Real simple.
Yeah, very good.
And we also have a phone number, 678-653-3554. It rings directly to me.
Okay.
So if you, by chance, get the machine, just leave a message. I will do my best to call you back.
Well, I tell you, I want to encourage you, when you reach out, find out when's the next and what their schedule is. And, I'm going to put us out there, my wife and I, we're going to, find out and get them scheduled and come out and try it. Because I just tell you, it sounds like it's a very unique opportunity for people to get health education in a very unique way and to go away with something they can implement immediately. You talk about the first class, second class, third class food. Oftentimes when we think of better foods, we think of higher prices. Have you found that to be the case?
Yes, I find that people think that immediately. And that's not to say that certain foods don't cost more than other foods. Right. For example, if you want raw cashews, you're paying $10.99 a pound. So that is an expense. Okay. Those who have already opted to become gluten-free, we all know that gluten-free bread costs a little bit more than the other bread. But some costs are up front, and that's better than the after cost of, let's say, some medication or a doctor's visit or a co-pay. Yes. And it balances out. I really believe that my food bill has decreased dramatically with my dietary change, and other people have said the same thing too. You just use your money differently.
Yeah. And I mention that because I'm sure that there's the first thought of that. You think of these high-priced places where people go sometimes as a fad, to get this expensive food. But when I hear you talk about it, when I hear when we get into healthy eating, I equate it to your vehicle. In terms of what we put into the gas tank, it's affecting the engine, and how frequently we get the oil, and do you use synthetic oil, all these things where we're willing to put extra dollars in things of maintaining these things, but we consider the bypassing on the expense for our own bodies.
You are absolutely correct. And right now I have a friend who every year she has to get a new catalytic converter. She refuses to listen to what I or her mechanic says. Use premium fuel. Yes. And so finally, 3 or 4 years later, now she's using premium fuel because she can't afford another catalytic converter. So we can make that application to health.
Very good. And I like the fact that, like Pastor Green says, either we're going to pay up front, bit by bit and in moderation for our food, or we're going to pay a lot on the other end when we're paying bills and pills and all of those things, medication, to try to address those health issues. So thank you again for enlightening us on that. So I like the fact, like you say, that you're not promoting vegetarianism or the V words, but you're just first-class food is what you are. First, second-class foods that's graded for better, healthy living. So, again, people can reach out to you at Fulton County Mission Group @gmail.com and give them the number once again.
678-653-3554. And you might want to contact us quickly because actually this Sunday and probably every 6 weeks or so, we do a movie matinee. So for some people who've heard of Forks Over Knives, there's a part 2. And it's even better. And this Sunday, actually, June 12th, we'll be showing that. We'll be doing an Atlanta screening for that. So every once in a while, it's not just food, but sometimes there's a matinee, things of that nature.
And that'll be taking place?
That'll be at our location. Just call us for details. Okay.
Because in mentioning that, I know that they can come to the location for the events, but is Healthy Choices a mobile opportunity?
It didn't start out to be that way, but yes, Healthy Choices community lunches can come to you. So you can call, contact, and say, I want to do this at my location. Can you help? And I can help. but I'm going to have fun with it, meaning I'm going to ask you and your community to do the cooking.
Wow.
So just make sure that you gather people who can follow a recipe.
Wow.
Because you don't want to have a lunch and people just go, oh. So that's the fun for me, and I'll do it the same way that I do it there at Fulton County Mission Group. So we do travel. We will come to your organization, and even I have two hats. I have a pastor hat, and I also have a professional hat.
Okay.
So there's a professional corporate version of this.
Yeah.
And I used to actually do classes and food demos for AT&T.
Okay.
And that really got me started.
Well, let me tell you, it really sounds like a great opportunity, and we know many of you who are watching this, you are nonprofit leaders, but many are business owners and operators. And so, consider that, because we talk about these large corporations who are always concerned about how can they help their employees and their teams with their health and address themselves so they can stay on the job and do the work. This is a great opportunity for you to bring something very unique to your organization, to your place of employment. So again, reach out to Pastor Green. And again, as she's already said, she wears dual hats and she knows the skill set about how to adjust them and appropriately. So again, we ask that you reach out to them. And before we go, I'm just curious, what do you tell people who think that they can't change their diet,
I always ask people, first of all, why can't you? Because that word can't denotes a trap or a prison. So I always want to examine, is it self-imposed, or is it, you're just totally unable because, you can't cook for yourself because you don't have arms.
Yeah.
Why can't you? I have to always investigate that. And the certified life and wellness coach in me always investigates the why behind that can't, because it's a powerful word.
Wow.
Usually people can't because they don't have the imagination. That's fine. If I give you a cookbook, you don't need your imagination. If I give you a website, you don't need your imagination. I don't know what stores to go to. Do you have a Kroger's? Do you have a Publix? Do you have a Walmart? Whole Foods? We don't have a Whole Foods. Who needs a Whole Foods? You use the resources that are available to you. As a matter of fact, at our last lunch, people were asking, well, what's the best water to get? I said, I don't do water arguments. I don't do water wars, because I did have people who were more advanced than others.
Okay.
And so I said, the best water, unless you live in Flint, the best water is that which is available to you.
Okay.
The best that is available to you. So whatever that means.
Okay.
For some, it might be a tap water. For others, it may be alkaline water. It may whatever.
Right.
But just as long as it's not pink, yellow, blue, mysteriously sweetened,
Okay.
yet no calories,
Okay.
that's not water.
Okay.
That's something else.
Okay.
So I just help people to make wise decisions and make things easy. You don't have to go 40 miles to a Whole Foods. If you have a Kroger's, go to Kroger. Start where you can start.
I like that, and I think that gives everybody an equal opportunity to access Class A or
First class
foods, and I'm interested in finding out what is involved with that. And again, Pastor Green, I thank you on behalf of the BizLinks TV network as well as Let's Talk Nonprofits for coming on and sharing such great information, and for the work that you're doing to benefit the community. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It has been an honor speaking with you.
Thank you, thank you. And guys, as we wrap up, we would like to remind you, we know I didn't stop here and there to pull out those nuggets like we usually do, because it was just so great a body of information that I just got involved. But review this information at www.bizlinks.tv. Again, our archives will have it there. Also, we ask that you go and see us on YouTube at BizLinks TV, YouTube.com/BizLinksTV, and like us, share, Give us comments so that we can share with our guests and allow them to get back with you. And if you want to reach out to them via these outlets, please do so. Visit us on our Facebook page as well as Instagram. So we're growing. We're looking forward to sharing great additional information to you on the next episode. Until then, we ask that you continue to be well and do well. Thank you.